What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. We're getting to an end of like the project, and I'm super excited about that because we've been putting in a lot of work into this. I'm actually happy that we're actually getting, closer to the end of the video, of like the entire project. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the OS tickets, the OS ticket system. This was something I spoke about like at the beginning of the video of what is also going to be a part of like the lab. So I just want to give you like a little explanation of what an OS ticket system is. So an OS ticket system basically is a system that can be used to create alerts. It can be used to make requests. It could be used to troubleshoot. Basically, it's just a system where you can basically have a bunch of requests. Let's say you have a customer complaint, you can send that complaint to the OS, like you could fill it out in the OS ticket system and put it out there so you can get a review. Um, One of the purpose of the OS ticket system is for audit trail. It's a way of like keeping track of like interactions you're probably having with customers, interactions you're having with your peer workers. Probably if you guys are on a case or trying to fix a vulnerability or something like that, you can have that put on the OS ticket system. And it's also used for accountability, audit trail, and accountability. The OS ticket serves one of the AAA in cybersecurity. The AAA stands for authentication, authorization, and accounting. So the OS ticket system actually comes in accounting because it keeps an audit trail of your conversations, of issues that have either been fixed or they're actually trying to be fixed. So what we'll be doing in this lab is we're going to be integrating the OS tickets with the ELK stack so that we can be sending alerts basically. So whenever like the SIEM detects an alert, that alert is going to be automatically by automation sent to the OS tickets so that we can have a security analyst, get to review that, leave a comment, and probably pass it on to a senior manager, you know. And I'll just also explain what the triple A is. The triple A, like I said, stands for authentication, authorization, and accountability or accounting. So authentication is um, knowing who that user is like giving access to that user. Like that user has to give in some certain information. It could be a username and a password, and we have to authorize that. Oh yes, that is the right user, and then we allow you get into the system. Then um, authorization is I just basically explain authentication. Use you giving a user access. Authorization, in the other hand, is kind of giving a user certain privileges. It kind of means like what that user has the right to do, the permissions, the types of files it can access, what kind of files or what kind of resources can this user actually access. That's when authorization comes in. Then accounting is the last one, which stands for keeping audits. It could be login time, you know, just basically you just having an account where it's like of the amount of users that logged in, what time they logged in, all that stands for accounting. So without wasting much time, we're going to be setting up the OS ticket system. I'm going to be deploying a new server that's going to stand for the OS ticket. So let's just dive straight into the video today. Okay, guys, so we're going to be deploying a new server. Right now we are in our cloud platform, as you can see, Vultr. So I'm gonna click on deploy, then we're gonna click on a shared CPU. I think we don't need anything too big. So we're gonna click the shared CPU. The location is gonna be London, as always. So let's scroll down. So pick what type of storage and memory we need. We don't need anything also too goofy. So 1V CPU, 2 GB, and yeah, I think I'm actually good with this one. Yeah. So if click that, then we're gonna click on configure software. The operating system is gonna be a Windows Standard 22 x 64 bits. Yes. I'm gonna actually just call this server name. I'm gonna call this, let's see. Let's do my SOC dash OS tickets. Alright, so we're gonna call this my SOC dash OS tickets. Probably make like everything cap. Now make it smaller. Yeah. So we're gonna name that my SOC dash OS tickets. We're gonna disable auto backup. We don't need that. And I'm also gonna actually select the VPC network because we need that. And I think be careful you have a VPC with overlapping IP blocks if you've attached a VPS. That's all right. So I think we'll just click on deploy and wait for that server to get created. So you guys can see we're still waiting for like the server to get deployed. It's still installing. So I'm just kind of like waiting for it. So yeah, I think our OSTicket server is done installing. Let me see. Trying to see if it's done installing actually. I'm actually going to connect to the server through. Let's just copy. So I'm just going to copy the IP address and we're going to go over to our RDP connection, paste that in there. Username, type in administrator. Okay. Allow me to save my credentials. Not really. So I'm actually trying to connect to you right now. I don't know why that's not showing on my screen though. Let's look on connection. Let's see. So this is the window. This is the like basically like the OSTicket server we just deployed, but as we can see, it's still installing. Well, almost done. Or I would say it's done now. But I opened this from the console itself, from the cloud console itself. But I'm still trying to like, I want to RDP like, into the system directly. So I think now that it's installed, I think I could probably, let's try RDP into it again. All right, guys. So I've been able to like remotely, connect to like the device. So this is my OSTicket server right now. Let's make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay, I think that should be all right. All right. So what I'm actually going to do next is I actually want to put a firewall rule to the OSTickets. So I don't really want anyone, like the whole internet trying to like gain, you know, trying to mess around with my OSTicket server. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go to settings and go down to firewall. Then in firewall, I already have. I'm just gonna the sub project firewall. And I'm gonna update that. Okay, it might take up to 120 seconds for those changes to apply. That is fine. We're gonna go back to the RDP session and we're gonna go to the PC folder. Before we go to the folder, let's go. So we're gonna go to the browser. Let's open up our browser right now. All right, so we're gonna actually search for an open source web server called I kind of call it the XAMPP. It's spelled XAMPP. So basically, this is a open source tool that you can use to create web servers. So this is what we're actually going to be using to create our web server for the OSTicket. So I'm going to search for XAMPP. Well, I'm going to click on search, download XAMPP. Yeah, so this is the one we're interested in. Download XAMPP from Apache Friends. So I'm going to open that up. Then we're going to select the version we need. So I think the version we actually want is the 8.2, this one. So I'm just going to click on the download button right here. I think that should probably start downloading soon. We should probably get like a pop-up somewhere because it says your download will start automatically. If it doesn't, click here. I'm just waiting to see it start downloading. All right, so now we have the file downloaded, but it's not done yet, but it's almost done. As you can see at the top of my right screen. So yeah, it's done now. So we're going to open up that file. We're going to open up that file. I don't know, I think the server is quite slow. Important because an activated user account on your system or social. Please avoid to install. So we're going to click on next. English, yes. Next. I'm just gonna wait for that to install. We still have the software still installing. It's almost done. We just have like just a little more to go, as you guys can see on screen. So we'll get there soon. So now we have the XAMPP fully installed onto the system. So I'm just gonna click on finish. So that's done. So what we're going to be doing next actually is configuring we're going to configure the properties, So I'm just going to go down to the folder. Let's go find that first. Then this PC, then we're going to the system drive. Just going to wait for that to open up. I think I have that on my screen. Let's remove that first. Okay, now we're in the system drive. Then we're going to open up our XAMPP. So in this XAMPP folder, we're going to scroll down to, we're going to find properties actually. All right, so I found properties. It's just underneath password. So this is what we want. We're going to right click that and click on edit. We're going to change the domain from the local host. That's the domain name, which is this guy right here. The Apache underscore domain name, which serves as 127, which is the local host, 127.0.0.1. I'm actually going to change that to the IP address of my Windows machine. So I'm just going to clear that out. And we're going to put in 192.248.160.90. So then we're going to save that out. We're going to click on file. We're going to click on save. Did I get that right? Yeah. So I think that's good. So we can close this now. So PHP admin, PHP my admin, PHP my admin. We're also going to configure some files here also. So in the PHP my admin, we're going to look for the file called config.inc.php. So let's look for that file, config.inc, which is this guy. Yes. And we're going to right click this guy and we're going to click on copy the personal same folder rename. Okay, so we're actually going to paste it in the same folder. So we're going to rename that as the backup file. So that's actually going to be a backup file. So instead of copy, we change that to backup. That's a backup file, the PHP backup file. So we have the config.inc.php, then we have the config.inc/backup or the PHP. Okay, that's good then. So now we're going to move forward and create an endpoint firewall rule. So right now we're actually going to set up a firewall rule on our Windows server, like on this page directly. So what I'm going to do now is click the start menu and we're going to search for firewall. And the one we're actually interested in is the Windows Defender firewall with advanced security. So now we're going to select inbound rule. Then we're going to create a new rule. I'm going to click on port rule that contains connection for a TCP UDP port. Okay. Then I'm going to click on next. So now I'm actually going to select the particular port that I want. It's going to be port 80 for HTTP and no, that's 88. So port 80 and we want port 443. 443. That is HTTPS secured. We're going to click on next. Allow connections if secure. Okay, we're going to click on next. I think this is also fine. When does this rule apply? Domain applies private, public. Okay, next. Then now we're going to name this rule. I'm actually going to name this rule inbound, capital I, inbound. I'm going to call it inbound 80 and 443. We don't need a description, so I'm just going to leave that rule like that, inbound 80 and 443. So click on finish. So now that rule has been added, as you can see at the top right here. So now we're going to actually go to our Apache server basically. Yeah, it's Apache anyway, so I'm just gonna take that away. We could close it, close that also. So now I'm gonna open up this guy. Then we're also gonna start our Apache and also start the SQL. So I'm going to click on start and also my SQL, I'm also going to start. So I'm going to click on admin for Apache. I'm going to make some configurations here. So I'm going to select PHP my admin. So just wait for it to open up. So this is all basically just trying to like configure like the server, like the web server that we're going to be using for the OsTicket. So that's what I'm basically just doing right now. And we're using a platform called XAMPP, which is an open source web server. I'm going to go on to users accounts and we're going to select the roots of the users account, username, hostname, just roots. Okay. So I'm actually interested in this guy, the roots localhost. I did privileges for user account root and localhost. Okay. Because I'm trying to actually set like a password and host name. That's what I'm trying to actually set for this guy. So we're gonna click on login information at the top right here. Then the host name, we're gonna actually, yeah, I think we'll leave that as local. Well, I'm gonna change this to the IP address basically of my OS ticket. So I'm gonna take that out. Then we're gonna put in 192.160.90. Okay, I'm not change this text field. Okay. And the password, we're going to set the password also too. I'm going to set that as winter 2024. Just the same password we have, just to retype that there. Winter 2024. Okay. So now that we have that done, we're going to click on go. And I think we'll be good to go. Okay, got it. SQL query has been executed successfully. Okay, that's good. You can even see the query right here. Query user roots at this IP address identified via MySQL native password using password, grant all privileges, roots. So that's basically like the query. So we're gonna go back to our config file, this guy. So we need to actually configure this file, like I said. So I'm just gonna open that with an app on this notepad. Okay. And we are interested in, let's see. Oh yeah, so the bind to localhost, this guy. So you see, it's still like the IP address right here is the localhost IP. I'm gonna actually change that to my server's IP address. So I'm gonna clear that out. Then 192.248.160.90. Okay. I'm also going to put in the password also. Where we have the server's password right here, I'm also going to add the password we put in for that user. So I'm going to type in winter 2024. And I think that's everything I need to do for this configuration. So I'm just going to save that out. I'll click on save, then we can close that. So let's go back home. Okay, we get an error actually. If you can see at the bottom right here, a PMA for my SOC/OS tickets isn't password no. So I'm actually going to try and fix this error also. Let's go back to user's account. Then yeah, where we have the PMA, we're going to edit that and I'm going to click on login information, host name, use text field. I'm just going to type in the IP address. IP address is 192.248.160.90. Password also, we're going to put in the password, use text field, and we're going to put in our password right there. Thank you. Just retype that password down here, and I think that's it. So I'm just going to click on go. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get that error anymore. Are we still getting that error? Oh, okay. I know what the problem is now. So we also need to configure the file in the folder, the PMA file. So I'm going to go back to system drive, XAMPP, PHP admin. Then we're going to go down to our file, which is this guy, open with Notepad. So we're going to look for PMA. So we're going to add a password to this PMA, but to be sure. So I'm going to add the password right here. So I'm going to put in the password. Usually you should use different password for this, but just because it's just for my educational purpose, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to save that, then we're going to cancel that out. Okay, so we're going to actually close out this guy. Oh, it's this guy. So I'm going to close this out and relaunch it just to see if it's, if we can actually, lose that error. So I'm going to go back to, okay, and click on admin, go back to PHP my admin, and hopefully we don't get that error anymore. Oh yes, so we have no errors anymore. SSL is not being used. That's all right for now. So what we're going to do next is we're going to actually be downloading the OS tickets itself. So I'm going to open up a new tab and we're going to search for download OS tickets. So we're going to do OsTicket.com. Let's see if that opens up. Oh, okay, yeah, that opened up. So I'm going to click on self-hosted and we're also going to pick the open source, which is free. So I'm going to click on download. So the version we're going to be downloading today is the version 1.18.1. That's the one we're going to download. I'm just going to click on that. I don't know if that should actually start the download. Probably should. Oh, okay. Next step. Okay. No, I don't need all of this language. I just hope he has English because that's all I need actually. I'm pretty sure it's already like configured in English. Or should I just speak English myself? I'm just gonna add English. So I'm just gonna click on next. Plugins. We don't need any plugins, so I'll just leave that as it is. Do I need to actually fill this out? Let me see if not. Subscribe to the OsTicket million. I don't know if I want that. Can we just move on without doing that? Oh, I guess I have to fill this out actually. So I'm just gonna fill this out real quick. Richard. Okay. I'm gonna put in RCA. Let's check 198. Wait, just to verify if that's the right email. Okay, so RTA tech 198@gmail.com. Company. I don't know if I can do without putting that. If I could leave that. Well, company, yeah, that's us, RTA Tech. That's the brand, in it. Industry. Okay. Let's just see if we can go on. Alright, so we have the OS ticket downloading right now. I'm just gonna open up the folder. Alright, so I'm gonna right click this and extract. Click on extract. I'm gonna open up this guy. Let's see if I can extract all again. Okay. So I'm just gonna extract this guy and wait for it to complete. And I'll show you guys when it's all done. I feel like this might take a while. So now we're done with the extracting of like the files. So I'm going to copy these files because I actually want to copy them all, and let's just do a copy. Okay, copy. So now we're going to go to the XAMPP directory. We're going to go back here, system drive, XAMPP. So we're looking for a file called the htdocs. That's what I'm actually looking for, a file called htdocs. So this guy. So we're going to open up this file. I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to name this the OS tickets and create that folder. So I'm now going to paste in the script and upload file in here. Wait for that to, fully copy and paste it. It's almost done. Yeah, that is done. All right, guys. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to actually be opening up the OS ticket web browser. Let's see if that actually works. So I'm just going to type in the IP address of the OS tickets, which is the local address, which is 192.248.160.90. Then it's going to be a slash OS tickets slash upload. Let's see if that opens up. Okay. Yeah, you can see we have the OsTicket installer right here. Thank you for choosing the OsTicket. So it shows us that the web browser is actually working. So we just need to make some configuration basically. Recommended you can use the OsTicket without this. So we have GD-lim extension available to us, the PHP IMAP extension not available, but we have the PHP XML extension available, the PHP XML-DOM extension available, and just a few things not available and some few available. So I'm just going to click on continue. Configuration file missing. OsTicket installer requires ability to write the configuration file. You can also see it gives us the solution basically to how we can fix the problem with the configuration file missing. So all I have to do is rename the sample file for include/OST tickets. So I'm going to change this sample config to OsTicket-config, click continue. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our directory. I think the one that has okay, yeah, this one. So we're gonna go into uploads. Now in uploads, we're gonna look for include. I think it should be this one, or is there another? Probably, yeah, it should be this one. So in the include file, we're actually looking for a file called sample OsTicket/sample. These are all like the configurations basically for like like the browser, the web browser. So I'm looking for, yeah, this one. So this is the file we're going to configure right here, that one. So I'm just going to rename that file, and we're going to rename it to, we're going to take out the sample basically. I think that's what we're going to change it to. So I'm going to take out all of that, and I'm going to leave it as OsTicket-config. Enter. Now I'm going to go back to the browser and click continue. That should be good. Okay, so now we have OsTicket basic installation. This is like us just setting up like the Helpdesk. That's like what the OsTicket is for. It's an Helpdesk platform basically where you can used to like query, like get like some alerts, customers complaints. It basically just does like a lot of things, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna fill out this. It also like serves as an audit trail, audit trail. accountability, basically. Just a way of us keeping track. We can also use it to like troubleshoot any request. So I'm just gonna fill out this information right here. Help desk name. You already gave me my name, but I don't know if I want to use my name. So we're gonna call this my SOC. Of course, we're gonna have my name, Richard Ago support. All right, so that's gonna be the help desk name. My SOC Richard Ago support. I'm gonna leave the email default. Now you know what? I'm just gonna put a random email actually. So I'm gonna call this test. This is just test@test.com. First name, Richard. Last name, Ago. This one, I'm gonna name it test. I'm gonna name it test1 at test.com. Okay. And I have the first name and the username. We're gonna name this my sock. Password. I'm gonna use the same password we've been using. Okay. That's the admin user. And my SQL database setting. Localhost. I'm gonna change this actually to the IP address. MySQL, yeah. This should be the IP address of like the OsTicket server. So it's gonna be 192.248.1.1, yeah, 60.90. My SQL database. I'm just gonna call this my soc-db. That's for database, my soc-db. The username. I'm just gonna call this root, and we're gonna put in the password, our trusty password. Well, not so secure, but it's all right. Just for just for educational purpose. So yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all like the configuration I need to do to install this. So I'm just gonna click on install now. Oh, now we get a page isn't working. An HTTP error 500. That basically tells us that it's from the server side. There's something wrong on our own end because we are the ones, um, running like the server itself. So we need to actually fix this. So okay, I think we're gonna go to the control panel and we don't see a database running. So I'm gonna go into my admin. So we're gonna go into admin, then click on my PHP my admin. I think I even had that tab open up. So we're gonna actually create a new database because from like we haven't created a database basically right here. What we had during the installation of the OsTicket was a database setting, not like we created a database. So from here, we actually have to create a database. So I'm just gonna click on new. All right, so I'm gonna name this. So I'm gonna name this database my soc-db, my soc-db, and hit create. Okay, as you can see, we have that right here. So I'm gonna go back home and we're gonna go to the user's account. So we're gonna give privileges basically to the root user to have access to that database. So I'm gonna click on this root and we're gonna click on database. Then I'm gonna select my soc-db basically, and I'm gonna click on go. So now you can see we just edited the privileges basically for the root account and gave it privileges to database my soc-db. So I'm basically going to check all of this. I can check all and go. So you can see you've updated the privileges for the root user at this IP. That's the public IP address. So now I'm going to go back to our browser and see if we can open up. Let's see if we can get to it now. I'm going to clear out everything down to upload thing, then hit enter. Let's see if that opens up. Yeah, we're just gonna fill out this information again. Oh, it's already there, so that'll save me the stress. All I need to do is put in the password again. Okay, I'm gonna type that also. Okay, I'm gonna change that actually to the IP address. That didn't change. 192.248.160.90. I'm gonna put in the password also. Okay. I think everything should be good. So let's see if this actually installs now. Honestly, guys, I'm so happy because we've gone so far with this lab. We've really gone so far from creating the different servers. Look at that. Congratulations again. So we have the OsTicket installed. The OsTicket installation has been completed successfully. The next step is to fully configure your new support ticket system for use. So you just need to make some configurations also. Before you get to it, please take a minute to clean up. Okay. Change permissions on the OS tickets. Config PHP to remove access to shown. So I'm going to use I'm going to use the Windows PowerShell to actually do this. Then you can see down below here, we already have the OS tickets URL. We also have our staff. So we have where we got normal users that can use it. And we also have the staff control panel, which is for, us like behind. So I'm going to make changes first to this. So we're going to go to the include. Okay. So I think this guy, I'm going to copy out this guy, copy that way. Then I'm going to open up PowerShell with admin privileges, Windows PowerShell, right click, run as administrator. So I'm going to paste that in here, but I'm going to actually add CD at the front. So CD, change to that directory, and you can see we're in the include directory where we have our configuration files. So now I'm going to copy out the command given to us right here, which is this guy. So I'm going to copy that out and paste it in here, and I'm going to hit enter. System could not find the path specified. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I'm just going to type this out like, so we're going to do ICALS, then OST dot config. I'm going to hit auto tab. If we're in the right, that's I'm going to hit auto tab and it should give us the execute command, the /. Oh, I didn't spell that right. You can see I didn't spell that right. So we're going to do that again. So it's an ICACLS. So I'm going to put a C under security. Oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you. This should probably work now. So I'm going to hit the system cannot find the file specified. Show processing one file. Okay, let's go back into the include directory and let's look for our file, the OsTicket. That's the file we're actually trying to execute. The ost-config.php. Ost. Oh, it's not dots, it should be dash. You see what I say about like how you go be like very, very, detailed in like your commands, because any little difference from what you're actually supposed to put in the command line, it's not going to work. So I'm going to take that out and put a slash, a dot that can be here. So let's do that. As you can see, successfully processed. The system cannot find the file specified. Successfully processed. Failed processing one file. I'm still trying to figure out why the system cannot find the file specified. Oh, you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna add I think it's a .php. Yeah. Go to .php. Let me see if that's correct. A .php. Okay. And we're gonna do this again. Let's see. Okay, that worked now. As you can see, process file successfully processed one file, failed processing 0, unlike what we've been having. So that is good, guys. That is good. So I'm just gonna take this down. So I'm gonna actually copy this. I'm gonna actually copy all of this. Here's don't make customers happy. Oh, look at that. Oh, don't just make customers happy, make happy customers. I like that. I'm also gonna copy that also. And I'm gonna paste that also in my notepad. Just take that down. I'm gonna open up my notepad. Okay, and I'm gonna paste that to a new tab. I'm gonna paste that there. I'm also gonna save it. So you can save. And let's just save this to desktop. And the name, I'm just gonna save this as OsTicket. So like he said, don't just make customers happy, make happy customers, I love that saying. So I think everything is all good with like our installation. What I'm actually going to be doing next is we're going to open the links on. I actually want to open the links on my personal browser, not on the this, because this is we've been working from the RDP connection from our Windows server in particular. So what I'm gonna do now is open up a new browser. This is my device. I'm gonna copy out the link. Let's just see if that is actually working. So I'm gonna copy that out, copy and paste that in here. I need to enter. I should open up. Yes, I know it's not secure, but yeah, look at that. I have my own ticket system. I have my own support center, just like that. You can open up a new tickets, check ticket status on like, any queries you've made, any complaints you've made. Um, let's also open up. Oh, look at that. It also has my name on top of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. My sock dash Richard Agu dash support. Uh, let's open up the staff panel also. The staffs basically. Yes, staff control. So I'm gonna open this guy up, copy that, and paste that there, and enter. As you can see, we have the login for that. Authentication required. Copyright at my so. Oh, isn't that just cool, guys? Look at that. Yeah, we literally just created our own OS tickets, our ticketing system. Isn't that just cool, guys? Let's even try and log in. So I know my password is my username should be my nope, small letter SOC. Let's see. Password should be, let's see if that's the right username. And look at that, guys. Don't save. Um, we have, so basically this panel is where the security analyst would probably, go through like the tickets they get and, work on them. And yeah, that's really nice. See, on the other side, we have where people can, create tickets, make the complaints. You can see you can sign in right here, you know. You can open up a new ticket, email address, full name, help topic, report a problem. You can see that right there, report a problem, you know. That's really cool. You can also check the status of your tickets, Like I literally just created this myself, This is my own web server. So I'm super excited, guys. Like I said, we are rounding up. So I think I have two more things I would like to do with you guys. So what I'm gonna do also is we're gonna be integrating the ELK and sending a test alerts basically into the OS tickets. So we're gonna actually test that out, like if we can integrate the ELK, that's the SIEM, and make our alerts go directly into the OS ticket, and so we can have this like probably like a higher manager, go through that. Then another thing I might also do, I'm still thinking about that, is um doing like a high level investigation with the SIM, just put it out there that I can like perform like a high level investigation, for like a brute force in particular. So I think that's just the sort of things we might need to do for like the lab. Then we're gonna call it a day. So I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. All right. Thank you so much for following along. I hope you guys are loving like the video so far. This is a lot of work I've actually put into this. I can tell you it's been months me working on this. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you hit the like button. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. So like I said previously, in this video, we're going to be integrating the ELK and the OS ticket together, so we can actually send like a test alert to the OS tickets. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now in this video. So if you just follow along with me, as you can see, we still have the OS ticket right here. This is our ticketing system. You can create new agents if you want to. This is me already. No, I'm already one agent. So, but if you want to create a new agent, you can create a new agent, but we'll just leave it like that. So what I'm gonna do basically is we're gonna go over to let's go home first. So we're gonna go basically to the admin panel. You can also see you can still make some configurations if you wanted to, but that's not what we're doing today. So we're gonna click on manage, then we're gonna go to API. We're gonna add a new API key. So what I'm actually gonna do right now is I'm gonna put in the IP address of the ELK server, which is this guy. So I'm gonna copy this. I don't even know if you copied or not, but so we're gonna go back and paste it in there. So I'm gonna actually check and create tickets, okay? Internal nodes. All right, in this part, I'm just gonna put in my dark elastic connector, okay? My dark elastic connector. Then I'm gonna click on add key. That should create us an API key for sure. Just gonna give it a couple of minutes. And yeah, you can see we have our API key right here. So I'm gonna copy that out and paste that in my notes pad. I could paste that down here. Just API, paste that there. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to our ELK SIEM. We're gonna click on the dashboard, like the three hamburger icon. We're gonna scroll down all the way to management. So in management, we're gonna click on the stack management. So on the stack management, we're gonna click on connectors, which is right here. I think that's all the connectors we have so far. So I'm gonna click on connectors and we're actually gonna create a new connector. You can see we don't have like the license basically because it's like you need to pay to use most of this, but there's a free 30 days trial, so that's what I'm actually gonna do because we are trying to use a connector called Webhook. So I'm gonna click on manage license and start the 30 days free trial, start my trial. And now you see we have the trial license active. So I'm gonna go back to my connectors, reload this page and we should probably have access to all of that. Yeah, you can see you can use email, you can use CrowdStrike if you have CrowdStrike. You could use Jira as your ticketing system, Microsoft Teams. But the one I'm interested in is Webhook, which is this. So I'm going to select Webhook. Connector name, I'm going to call this the OsTicket. And it's going to be a post. So the URL is going to be HTTP slash IP address of our OsTickets. I'm just going to go copy that out because I don't know it. So OsTickets, this guy. So I'm going to copy that and go back to the Help and paste that in there. And I'm gonna do a slash OsTicket slash upload slash API slash tickets with an S actually, but XML. Alright, so just to verify if that's correct. So we got http slash 192.248.160.90 slash upload slash API slash tickets XML. Authentication, we're going to put none. I'm going to click on select the HTTP header. And in the key, I'm going to name this X-API-key. And the value, we're going to paste in the API, the value, which is this guy. So I'm going to copy that out and paste in right here. Then I'm going to click on save and test. Let's see if that works. So for the body of this, GitHub actually has like a payload for those tickets. So I'm actually gonna go to GitHub to copy out like the payload that I can use. I'm just gonna move that notepad from there for you. If you just give me a minute to type out the URL because it's quite long. So, alright guys, so I already typed in the URL. You can see it's quite lengthy, that's why I just had to type it out. So you can see it's basically for the OsTicket. If you just scroll down to the XML payload, so I'm going to copy this out. Then we're going to go back to the connectors and I'm going to paste that in here. I'm actually just going to change the subject right here from test API. I'm going to take all of that out and I'm going to rename that with my sock dash say challenge. Let's say challenge or project. Let's say project. I prefer project. Project dash Richard. Okay. And I think I'm gonna test that out. I'm seeing a red somewhere. I hope that's I wonder why we get like a red up here. That could mean something sometimes. So let's hit run first. Let's see if that works. Yeah, just give it a couple of minutes. Let's see if it works. As you guys can see, we got an error basically. A timeout of 60,000 milliseconds. So I'm gonna try and see if I can actually fix this error. Let's SSH basically into our server. Let's see. SSH. Probably I even have the. This is 190. What IP address is this? No, this is the IP address we want. So I'll copy that out. Go back to, yeah, 128.93. That's the one I want. I'm going to copy out the password. Enter, clear out the screen. So I'm going to actually, let me see what IP address is right here. So this is my IP address. And this is my, that's my private IP address. All right, let's actually try to ping the OS tickets. Let's ping the IP address of the OS tickets, which is, let me just go back. OS ticket. So copy this, paste that in there, and ping. Let's actually see if we can actually reach it. And from the looks of it, I don't think we can actually reach that. No, it's not letting us ping it. I'm thinking if I might have to create a firewall rule. I actually have to create a firewall rule to allow the OS ticket server, allow connections from the ELK server. That's what my idea is thinking about right here. It's not pinging. It's not going. Just cancel that out. So, all right. Let's see OS tickets. Let's go to settings. Let's go to firewall. Let's manage firewall. I'm gonna allow TCP connection. The range of 1.265.535. Custom IP address. I'm gonna paste in the IP address of the ELK server. I don't want to go back again. So I'm just gonna do it right here. IPA. Copy you. And paste that in here. And add that. Okay. Let's go back. And most times you just give it a couple of minutes, for like the firewall rule to actually, activate. Then I'm gonna try pinging that machine again to see if it's gonna go through now. All right, guys, that connection is actually going through, as you can see. I just waited a little bit longer to see, and it's actually going through, so I'm gonna stop that, try and cancel that. Oh Lord! So I went back, and after running the command, like already cleared out. So I went back to run the test again. As you can see, test was successful. So it was just a firewall rule where I had to just let the OS ticket be able to like accept inbound connections from the ELK server. I'm happy, guys. I'm happy, So let's go to the OS ticket. So we'll go to the OS tickets right here. We're gonna click on the agent panel, and you can see that actually works. So basically, you can see that integration has actually worked. So this is my SOC project from ELK. Let's just open that up. Ah, come on, guys. This is great. This is great. Angry user. And this was the subject we actually put in the test alerts, created by angry user, because we got this from GitHub, from support tester test recipients, so we can, start following up on the tickets, type in some nodes, whatever you want to do. So yeah. So like one of the great things about me installing the OS tickets is I've actually completed, or like say established, one of the AAA, like I spoke about earlier, which is quite big in like cybersecurity, which is accountability. So with this system right now, I have accountability, added to like the organizations, because I'm going to have like an audit trail. So this is just amazing. You know, I've fulfilled one of the AAAs. So I'm just going to talk about like the achievements we've gotten so far from like the lab in total. So I've been able to spun up my own ELK instance. That's the SIEM, which is this guy. I'm just going to close this out because we're done with you. So this is the SIEM. We are able to install a SIEM. This is a great tool because it's quite useful as a security analyst, you know, to investigate and also to just correlate logs and go through those logs and have your logs basically. We are able to also spawn up two servers, which was a Linux server and also a Windows server, which we are able to ingest these logs to the SIEM. We also were able to install an Elastic agent also into the Linux machine and also the Windows machine, which is amazing. We also created alerts, we created dashboards. I'm just going to show you guys that real quick. So if you guys remember, we created this. This is our dashboard for our alerts. Just gonna wait for it to open up real quick. It's taking its time. Yeah, so, oh, this is the last 15 minutes. I'm just gonna change this to the last 30 days. Okay, so you can see we are able to create an alert and a dashboard. You can see all the SSH field authentications. We also have a geographical mapping of it also, which is quite nice. You can see the RDP field authentications also. You can see that's loads of like, you can see people trying to basically brute force their way into the system. We also have the SSH successful authentication, which is quite good. At a quick glance, we can actually see who has been able to successfully, you know, authenticate into our device. And if you guys can remember, we actually had someone successfully actually get into our device. This one. As you guys can see on the right hand side, we were able to, someone actually, no, we were able, but someone actually was able to successfully get into the device. That was actually when I changed the password to a password that was quite easy to like, you know, break through. But I actually changed the password after that because I didn't want anyone messing with my system or probably even locking me out. So this is quite useful. You know, you could investigate more on that IP address and try and figure out more about why, who that user is, what TTP he probably has in his bag, you know. So that is amazing. And the last thing we actually did was we spun up our own OsTicket system. You know, we have for the guest users, and we also have the OsTicket right here. So this is amazing. This is so amazing, and I just want to say thank you all for following along. I know it's a really long lab, but I appreciate you guys following along with this, and you guys please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, you know, spread it, just share it to your friends. People probably interested in like setting up their own SOC labs, setting up their own SOC environments. It's an amazing project because it opens your mind to like various things like the tools and how to use the tools properly. So I'm just super excited and happy, and I can't wait for like the other projects I'm also going to still work on and just expand my knowledge, you know.